How are you guys doing?
You excited to make some ice cream out there? We are so excited for this class. We're going to be making ice cream cookie sandwiches.
So we need ourselves a knife. We also have our cutting board over here. And then we need a wooden spoon. We need 2 medium mixing bowls over here. And then we need 2 baking sheets, okay? And we just got to make sure that they're lined with either parchment paper or what's called a silpat. After that, we need a 2-quart pot. And then after that, we need a microplane, right? And if you don't have a microplane, if you just have a little zester, that'll work just fine. After that, we need a whisk. And then we need a large mixing bowl as well.
Yep.
To make the cookies.
This is our cookie bowl.
And then after that, we have this beautiful kit over here, right? And so in this kit, we have everything to make cookies, ice cream sandwiches, lemonade, right? All the things that I loved when I was a kid. These bags, all right, they're going to go on our left, okay? We're going to use these to make the ice cream.
Correct.
After that, we have our cookie decorations. These ones come in the form of Fruit Loops.
Correct.
Fruit Loops, one of the finest cookie decorations known to mankind. That's going right in the middle, okay? We have our ice cream salt. So this is going to go onto the ice cream side. After that, we have our AP flour and baking soda mixed together. That goes to the right, the cookie side. We have our white and brown sugar. And I'm putting it over here with my cookie dough. After that, we have our chocolate. This is beautiful 70% bittersweet chocolate for our cookies. In here, I've got this bag of white sugar. As you can see, it says sugar for lemonade, right? So that'll go in the middle. And then we have our brown sugar, okay? This brown sugar is going to be used for making the ice cream itself. So it's going to go to the left. We have our eggs, okay? This is going to be used for making the cookies. And then we have our butter for browning. We're going to have this butter for browning, okay? And then we have this stick of butter, which we're going to melt into the brown butter after it has browned. After that, we have 2 lemons. Those will go, for right now, they'll go on the left for our ice cream making. And then we have a packet of sprinkles, decorating sugar. That's going right in the middle. We have a little packet of our Balinese Truffle Salt. And then we also have our brown butter truffle honey. Last but not least, we have our half and half, okay? And so Chef Jason here is going to bring us through the ice cream making process.
The first thing we're going to do here is we're going to take out the half and half. We're going to take it in a medium bowl. And we're going to take all the half and half and pour it into one of our bowls. And then we're going to take the brown sugar and put it in with the half and half. And then we're going to take our lemon, okay? We're going to zest both the lemons, all right? You don't have to go too crazy, okay? We just want a little bit of zest in there for flavor. We're going to go in, and I'm going to hold it like this, and we're going to get long strides here. And then go to the next one. And so the flavor we're making here is a brown sugar and lemon ice cream. Wow. And now we're going to take the whisk and whisk it all up together. And so you don't have to go too crazy with this. You just want to whisk it for about 30 seconds. Basically what you want to do here is get a more responsible adult to help you put this into the Ziploc bag. So Tyler's going to get one bag.
Okay.
My lovely wife Sarah's going to get the other bag. Half to Sarah's, half to Tyler's. And then they're going to take all the air out, right, and seal it. And so with step 2, what we have is the other 2 plastic bags. We went ahead and filled with ice. And then we're going to split the ice cream salt between both bags of ice. So Tyler, do you want to seal that one?
I do.
We're going to shake that salt all around. All right. You'll have 2 teams making the ice cream. As you guys see, we split it into 2 batches. So I'm going to make one batch, and Tyler's going to make the other batch. So I'm going to make sure that I got, and you guys see, if you see on this camera here, that's the seal, and I'm just folding it over a couple times, and then you're going to work it into the middle of the ice, okay?
And so the cream, right, went into its own bag.
Yes.
And then the ice is in a completely separate bag, right? So that's very important. We're not putting the cream mixture into the actual ice itself.
And the reason why we're doing 2 is that way we get it cold faster. That way it'll take 5 minutes instead of 10 minutes. We're going to do it for about 5 minutes, all right? So you might need a partner to switch off with. And we're going to start shaking this ice cream. And so now what you guys want to do is bust your ice cream out and just taste it, okay? Give it a taste. And then we're going to go on to step 4 and get it into a bowl.
All right, so we're going back into that medium bowl, right?
That's what you want. Now we're going to go into the bowl and pop that in the freezer.
And so we get it out. We can also do this move, right? Where you just take your knife, squeeze all the ice cream to one side, right? And then you just snip the edge of the bag and just pour it all right into that bowl.
And so I'm going to put this in the back of the freezer.
Yep.
That's another trick. The front part of the freezer is always the warmest. You're going to about another 35 to 40 minutes for it to get even colder in the freezer. Right now, what you want to do is make sure you preheat your oven. Okay, that's step 5. Get that oven preheated to 375.
Yep.
And so Tyler's going to show you guys this awesome recipe that he came up with for brown butter chocolate chip cookies.
So we're going to take the butter in the deli, right? And I'm going to put it into this pot right here. And we're going to cook it over medium heat, all right? I'm going to grab my wooden spoon to assist me with this to move it around. But what's going to happen is the butter is going to melt, okay? And then you're going to keep cooking it, and the water is going to cook off of the butter, right? And then the butter fat is going to start to toast those milk solids.
Yep.
Right? And that is going to yield this brown butter. And so it browns up pretty quick. So it's important to keep stirring it around, right? So you want it to get a nice brown to it, like a little bit more than golden brown, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it off of the heat, okay? We're going to put that stick of butter, right, now into the brown butter. And what I'm doing is I'm just stirring in that stick of butter and melting it down, okay? I'm at the very finishing stages of my stick of butter being melted into this brown butter over here, right? What we're going to do now is I'm going to grab this large bowl, okay, the large mixing bowl, and I'm going to take that deli. It is the white and brown sugar 4 cookies, and we're going to get it all into this bowl, okay? Nice. And then we are going to bust out our whisk. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour that melted butter over the sugar. And then I want to whisk it all together. And so again, you guys see, it's got that wet sand look to it. So what we're going to do next is we're going to open up the deli with our eggs in it, okay? And so we're going to add the egg 1/3 at a time, right? So this is how much egg we have. I'm going to take 1/3 of this egg mixture, right, and pour it in to my sugar and butter, and then you want to whisk it together, and it's gonna start turning light brown. So at this stage, you wanna really make sure you whisk it together. Very important. So now I'm gonna add that second third, right, of my egg. The last little bit of egg here. Now my last little bit of the cookies, if everything isn't thoroughly mixed up enough, they'll be a little too brittle.
So you guys see how light and airy he got this?
Yeah, you see how it went from being kind of that dark brown, like wet sand texture, to now it's like really, really nice, runny, light brown, and it's all incorporated. So now that we have that done, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our whisk, right? We're gonna tap off all that business on it, right? And just rinse it off real quick. And then we're gonna take all of our AP flour and baking soda and put it in a separate bowl. Okay? So again, I got my flour, right? So we sent that deli. In that deli is a little bit of baking soda because that's gonna help make the cookies rise up, right? And then our all-purpose flour. And what we wanna do is just whisk it together just to make sure that baking soda is distributed throughout the flour, okay? Basically, I'm gonna take all this flour and I'm gonna put it into my butter egg batter mixture, right? And we're gonna mix it together. And you guys will see it's gonna form something that looks very familiar. You wanna get that flour in there, right? And we're gonna mix it around with our whisk, right? Until we cannot mix it anymore. And then I'm switching over to my wooden spoon, right? Just because it gets to a point where it gets so thick, you can't really whisk it anymore. So this is how mine looks, right?
Nice and thick. And that's what you want.
Now I'm gonna add all of my chocolate chips, right? Go all in. I'm just gonna stir those chocolate chips into this dough. You wanna get all those chocolate chips evenly dispersed, right? Throughout the cookie dough.
And so we're using the big chocolate chips. That way they still stay nice and melty when they come out of the oven, right?
Exactly. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna go ahead and form these cookies. Kind of a cool little trick, right? When you're working with this cookie dough, because we're gonna use use our hands with some of it, all right? And so with this, you wanna get just a little bit of water on your hands, okay? In order to work with the dough. Grab a spoon or whatever other type of portioning device that you want to use. We're gonna pick up some cookie dough, okay? And again, with just that little bit of water on our hands, it makes it easier to form that ball. So we're gonna make a ball, right? We're gonna lay it down, making nice large cookies. So we're going 6 down, and you just wanna pat it down as you put that cookie onto that tray. And so this is about 1.5 ounce ball. As I'm forming the ball and I'm laying it down, it's about 1.5 inches in diameter. And again, we're just putting 6 on our sheet trays over here just because they will spread out. We don't want them to spread into each other too much.
So then we're gonna get these in the oven.
Yep, and so first we're gonna sprinkle them with a little bit of Balinese truffle salt. Oh, and we just wanna make sure we go from up top with that truffle salt, right? We're gonna go from all the way up top.
Truffle salt will just add a little bit of kind of balance or texture to it.
Yeah, and also too, chocolate and salt go really, really well together. So our oven is preheated. It's at 375, okay?
Yeah.
And what you wanna do is take your oven racks and make sure they're kind of in the center, right? You need 2 racks because we have 2 trays. So we're gonna go ahead, get these cookies in the oven, and then we're gonna set a 5-minute timer. And then Sarah is going to talk to us about lemonade.
All right, so Sarah is just grabbing a pot.
Yes, we're going to use our same pot that Tyler was using before. And I'm just going to rinse that out, one we used for the butter. Awesome. So what we're going to do first, and you may have already done this, but just in case you haven't, I'm basically going to start from scratch.
Okay.
And we're going to make simple syrup.
All right.
So I'm going to need my sugar. I'm also going to take a little 1/2 cup measure, right? So I'm going to get a 1/2 cup of water, and then we're going to add all the sugar. Even if you're adults, you're not making lemonade, and you want to stick around for our cocktail, we're going to start the same way, and then we're going to branch off in 2 different directions in just a minute. So we're still going to make the simple syrup, all right? So I'm adding a half a cup of water.
Mm-hmm.
I am adding all of this packet of sugar that says sugar for lemonade. Now we're not going to add this whole thing of simple syrup to our lemonade unless you have a lot of people at your house or you want a lot of lemonade and you have more lemons to supplement. So I'm going to put all of that in there. I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to turn it on to about medium. And basically what we're looking for is I just want to dissolve the sugar into the water. So we're kind of just going to stir it around for that. And you can use a wooden spoon, a little plastic spatula, metal spoon, whatever you want to use is totally fine. While we have that going, then I'm going to take our lemons, right? So I'm going to do one like I have a juicer, a little hand juicer, and I'm going to do one like maybe you don't have something like this and we have to juice by hand, and that's no problem. So I'm going to cut the lemon in half like this. And then my other one, what I like to do is cut it the opposite direction. And then I'm going to cut that guy into quarters. And I'm going to snip off this little middle portion that's got the vein and it has our seeds. We're just going to make sure we get all those seeds out of there before we squeeze anything into our juice. Awesome. I'm going to look back over at my simple syrup. So my simple syrup, it's all dissolved. I'm going to turn it off. Perfect. Do you want to talk to them about switching? We can take a pause because we're going to switch our cookies, right?
Yep. So all we want to do is just rotate and switch the trays of those cookies. All right.
So your top one is going to go on the bottom and it's going to turn. And then your bottom one is going to go on top and then also turn. So now that I've cut mine up, I have one lemon that's like this, right? That I'm going to put in the squeezer. The other lemons that I have it quartered like this, so I can just squeeze them like this. Perfect. So we can juice our lemons. If you're juicing a lemon using a juicer, cut a little X on the top and you're going to find yourself getting more juice out of that lemon because it won't have so much the hard skin to push through, right? You're kind of giving it a way to easily push down. Okay, 1, 2, and then we'll just go in and squeeze all of our little pieces here. And just do that by hand if you do not have a juicer. All right, perfect. So I have my lemon juice in one container. I have my simple syrup over here. And now I'm gonna make this like I'm making one cocktail and one lemonade. So if you're making the whole thing lemonade, just add, we have about 2 ounces of lemon juice here. Add 2 ounces of our simple syrup, or I'd probably say you could look at 3 to 4 tablespoons, but kind of taste it as you go. Make sure it's not too sweet for you because you can always add more sugar, but you can't take it away. And then after that, if you're making this all into a batch of lemonade, you're going to top it with 1 cup of water. And then we're going to stir that up. But like I said, I'm going to do this a little separately. So I pretty much have about 2 ounces. So I'm going to put 1 ounce in each of these guys. Awesome. And then I'm going to put 1 ounce of this into my lemonade. And then for adults, this is where we're going to kind of diverge, okay? So I'm going to take our truffle honey, if you don't mind. While our simple syrup is still hot, this is a great way to incorporate honey into cocktails. So you need to add it, like heat it up so it's able to be incorporated more and you don't end up with this kind of thick syrup on the bottom if you ever tried to mix honey into something. So I'm going to take a little bit of honey here. How's our time? We have about 1 minute and 40 seconds. Great. I'm going to take about a teaspoon of honey and I'm going to mix this into our simple syrup. Well, it's still hot and it's dissolving. I don't have the heat on at all, right? And basically just the hot simple syrup is taking all that honey off my spoon, getting that mixed up. I'm going to use my little jigger one more time, and I like this a little bit sweeter. So I'm going to put about 2 ounces of our simple syrup mixed with the truffle honey. Go back to our lemonade. We're going to add a half cup of water if you're just making 1 glass. Awesome. And then for our cocktail, to make a traditional bee's knees, which is basically what we have here, honey, lemon juice, and gin. I'm going to add 2 ounces of gin. Perfect, like I planned that. Excellent, and the same thing. We're just going to mix this all in as well. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
So we're going to get these cookies out of the oven These are our cookies over here. Look at those. You don't really want to mess with cookies that much right as they come out of the oven because they're so soft that they can kind of they can get broken pretty easily. So you got to let them cool for a little bit, let that sugar kind of settle down and re-solidify before you want to move them around. We'll chat over here real quick about these mixes that we gave you. We got decorations, right, in the form of, over here we have Fruit Loops.
What we want you guys to do is put those Fruit Loops and sprinkles on a plate for maximum rollability.
Yep. And then we also have a little baggie of cookie decorations, right? So in here, we have decorating sugar. We got sprinkles, right? We got a little strawberry coated sugar.
Nice. So what do you think, Tyler? We can start putting these on the tray?
Yeah. So pretty much with these guys, you can move them now with your hand, but if you want, you can grab a little spatula as well. So I'm just going to transfer them off of the sheet tray onto my cooling rack. And these are pretty, almost the perfect cookie sandwich making temperature.
So we got the ice cream. We got our Humphrey Slocum ice cream because, like I said, we're going to need a backup. And so what do you think, Tyler? We take?
Yeah. Well, first, to make ice cream sandwiches, you need the base to the sandwich.
Yep.
Right?
So we're going to flip one upside down here, okay? What do you think, Tyler? I'm going to do mine with our homemade ice cream.
Oh, yes.
And you can put about 3 scoops there. I'm going to come in with a little drizzle right onto the ice cream. And then I'm going to, check this out, I'm going to crumble the cookie right where it hits the honey. Boom. And then I'm going to hit over the top.
Wow.
And kind of push down here, okay?
Yeah.
And this is what I'm recommending everyone do, right? Use your finger here, right? And kind of make an edge. I'm going to get rolling in my sprinkles. Look at that.
Well, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to use a secret breakfast Humphrey Slocum ice cream. Now I'm just going to spread out that ice cream a little bit on top, right? And then instead of breaking mine up, I'm just going to lay those Fruit Loops, right? I'm going to go over the top, drizzling that honey, okay? And I'm going to hit it with the crushed Fruit Loops post-drizzle on the very top. Let's go ahead. That's my ice cream sandwich right there.